Hello, everyone. I'm Justin.
And I'm Marcella.
And this is Sailor Manga, the podcast where we take a deep dive into the iconic Sailor Moon manga by Naoko Takeuchi and discuss it to our heart's content. Another Moon Day, Marcella. How's it going?
Yes.
Just yes.
Yes. I had a bad day with work today. Obviously I won't bore our listeners with it, but it was bad.
Yeah.
And but Justin helped me out. We played some Dead by Daylight. We did some teabagging of the killer.
Yes. We let out our frustration.
We did, and I'm feeling good now.
Okay, well, good. I'm
It's been a day.
so glad. Yeah, I'm sorry you had such a rough day, but
How are you?
I'm good. You know, I just wanted to say, even though I know that the listeners know that we kind of pre-record these whenever we want, but as the time that we are recording that, or the time that this will come out, not only will Lana Del Rey's album be out,
Oh yeah,
but also the Fearless re-record will be out.
by the time this, oh wow.
Yeah, by the time this comes out, it'll be out.
Oh, I'm so excited.
So everyone listening to this episode currently, we're shook by the Fearless re-record. Everyone knows we're gonna be shook. And how about them bonus tracks? What the fuck, right?
I know. Is it 6? There's 6.
6, yes. And we still don't know as the time we're recording this in mid-March. But by the time this comes out, like I said, it'll be out. And we still don't know the names of them yet.
No.
So, it's crazy.
And while we're on the subject, can we just congratulate our queen on her Album of the Year win at the Grammys?
Taylor Swift won the Album of the Year for Folklore, one of only 4 people to win it 3 times, and of course the first woman to win it.
Yeah.
So little applause. Woo! Yay! Even though it'll be old news by the time this airs, but we're excited about it.
Yeah, we're over it. We're over it.
But super exciting. But today we are reading Act 10. We're finally in the double digits, y'all. So excited.
Oh, wow, yeah.
This act is called Moon. And but before we get reading to it, of course, as always, we got to deal with our Sailor Moon news. So Marcella, what's your Sailor Moon news this week?
So I did a little hair flip then.
Yes, I heard it silently.
So okay, number 1. There is still no update on the Sailor Manga mug. However,
okay.
I did get a text message from the Royal Mail to say that they had attempted delivery of something.
Oh.
And they just have to
retry. Okay.
So I've rescheduled it for, I think, Friday. So I may be sipping my tea from the mug Friday, as of Friday.
Okay,
so
good.
That's that.
The Sailor Moon mug saga is our new current saga.
It's the new blanket.
We settled the nap blanket saga, but now we're on the moon mug saga.
Yeah, so that's where that is. I know that people will be dying to know. And then number 2, you very kindly sent me a link to a website where I could view the anime.
Yay!
Because obviously I was distraught when I lost the rights to access the previous website I'd been using, and it works.
I'm so glad that you have an option to listen to it, because I even checked that old website yesterday. It's still down. So.
Oh really? Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I watched the final episode of season 3.
Yay!
So I have season 4 next, is it?
Yep. Super
So
S.
I have that to start. Super F.
Yeah.
So I will be starting that. So continuing on with the anime.
Nice.
And then a little bit of, and then number 3 is just a little bit more merch that I've purchased.
Ooh,
so it's not that exciting really, but it's Sailor Moon related. So I'm just gonna bore you with it.
Yeah, go for it.
But I bought in fact, I'll send a picture. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on Twitter a picture of the nap blanket.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's right.
And I will also put a photo of my latest purchase, which was just a little cosmetics case thing. It's made of material, I'm trying to think what it is, like a makeup bag, and it has Usagi as it's a Serenity, and she is sat on a moon.
Ooh.
I'll send you, after we've done here, I'll send you a picture of it because it's really pretty.
Please do. I want to see it.
And I had to get it, and I'm going to keep my lip glosses in it because I'm
hell yeah. yeah. Do
And
you
I
have
thought,
the
what
Sailor Moon
perfect place.
makeup?
From Colourpop,
Yeah,
yes.
ColourPop. Yes, that's what I thought.
I
Okay.
do,
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
So I got the Luna blush, and although I've stopped wearing it because I'm over Luna, and then
I
the
was about to say, how does it feel to spread lies on your cheek and
I know
apply that blush?
exactly. Just burns. It burns my skin. And then I got the eyeshadow palette,
It's
which
gorgeous,
I've
honestly.
only used it a couple of times, but I bought it just to look at because it's so pretty, and just to sort
Hell
of
yeah.
keep on my dressing table. And I also bought one of the lip
Nice.
glosses, which I do wear, which is called Bunhead.
Oh, Bunhead.
I know.
So cute. I didn't know what the
Um,
names of the stuff was, but I've seen
yeah.
pictures.
So yeah, I got that as well. I love and it just anything, and I will
Nice.
continue to waste my money. It's not wasting actually at all. Other people may think so, but I will continue to spend my semi-hard-earned cash on Sailor Moon merchandise
Oh no,
forever.
same. I'm trying to hold back because we got the wedding and stuff, but I want a Sailor Moon shirt so bad. And what I really really want is I want
Mm.
a pink hat with a upside down black moon for like a black lady
Yeah.
hat. That's what I really want. And I
Yeah.
found one on, is it Etsy, I think? But
Yeah.
it's like a child size and I'm just nervous about buying it cuz it looks like a child size next to the Luna and Artemis one, so I don't want to buy it and, you
Be
know,
wrong, yeah.
be wrong, right? But, whatever.
Are
Anyway.
you guys gonna do a wedding list? Because you could just fill it. I'm sure Alan wouldn't mind if you just filled your wedding list with the registry with
He would kill me if I
Sailor
did
Moon.
that.
Sailor Moon merch.
He would kill me. I actually don't think we're gonna do a registry. I think we're gonna do like donate to our honeymoon kind of thing,
Oh, yeah.
but we'll see. All in
So
due
what's your moon
time.
news?
Oh,
What
right, I
is your
almost forgot.
moon news?
So my first bit of moon news is, so I think on the last podcast, I had just recently watched the Chanela episode of the original anime, which is episode 5.
Mm.
And I was kind of down a little bit last week. This past week has felt like a month long. I don't know
Oh.
why, but it's just felt really long. And for a couple days last week, I was just kind of down in the dumps, and I needed some good old serotonin from Sailor Moon. So I
Yeah.
started watching more of the anime. And you think that I would watch like a couple episodes? I just finished episode 23, so that's how
Oh,
many
wow.
episodes I've watched since the last podcast. I've been
Wow.
barreling through. Yeah, I'm on the Nephrite storyline where he's conflicted about his feelings for Naru.
Okay.
Yeah, Jadeite's already been 86th, and yeah, it's been good. But that's my moon news. But we have a little bit of conjoined moon news this week that I'm so excited for.
Mm.
So excited. We got our first email from a listener.
We did.
And I
They're
am
real.
so beyond excited about it. Let me pull it up so I can read it.
When you sent me that text message just with my name, like Marcella in capitals, we've
Yeah.
heard from somebody. I couldn't believe it.
We were so ecstatic. So, just want to say a quick little thank you to Thomas for sending us this
Mm.
email. I got Thomas's permission to read it. So, just huge shout out to Thomas. Thank you so, so much for reaching out.
Thank
We
you,
really
Thomas.
appreciate it. Yes,
Oh,
thank you so, so
so
much.
yeah, you don't realize how happy you made us.
Literally, you made our weeks, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. My
So
2021
Thomas
so far.
So Thomas says, "Hello, I'm a new listener and I'm enjoying the podcast. Will you be discussing the anime and other mangas in the future? Also, I'm planning on watching the Sailor Moon anime, but I don't want to watch the fillers, so should I watch Crystal or stick with the original when I get started? Thanks for reading. Sincerely, Thomas." Oh, thank you again, Thomas. Thank you so, 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 so much.
Thank you.
It's so exciting to hear from someone who listens to the podcast who's not one of our Discord friends or not a family member. So thank you so
Yeah.
much.
I know we didn't have to pay anybody. So.
Yeah, no paid listeners here.
Yeah.
So Marcella, do you want to answer the first? I'll let you answer the first part, if you want,
Will we
to,
be discussing the anime?
and other mangas in the future. Yeah,
Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of open, isn't it, for us? We've kind of toyed
Yeah.
with the idea of doing that, and I mean, obviously we'd have to do it after we've completed going through the manga, and then all the little kind of like sub additional things. And we've kind of talked like, would we do this? Could we do this? Should we do this? And we haven't come to a definite answer yet, but I will say that I'd be completely down for doing a run through of the anime as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely open to it. It just depends, because discussing the anime is going to be hard only because I have really good access to it, but Marcella doesn't. I mean, she has that website.
Yeah.
Let's say we're halfway through and it goes out, and then we're stuck with like Marcella doesn't have a way. So my only concern is that, and I think that we would just have to have enough people listening to kind of take on the juggernaut of going through the anime.
Yeah, true.
That's kind of how I feel about it, but I would be totally open to it. It just depends on like how many people are listening, how dedicated, we have. Like maybe we could have a fund going on to so I can buy Marcella all the Sailor Moon DVDs, get her a Region 1 DVD player, and so she has it. And then we would have no problem going through the anime.
The UK, like something like UK reach out help.
Yeah. A sort of little GoFundMe for that, which is an idea. But we're definitely open to that. So we both need to tackle this next question. Thomas says he's planning on watching the Sailor Moon anime, but doesn't want to watch the filler. So should he watch Crystal or stick with the original? What are your opinions, Marcella?
I think go with the original. I know he doesn't. He's just said he doesn't want to watch the filler, though, hasn't he?
But see, I have something to say about this, Thomas. Listen, as someone who just recently started watching it, like I rewatched it last year, and now I'm rewatching it again. So it's really fresh on my mind. When I was rewatching it with my fiance, I was like, oh, the filler episodes. But we were just watching them one episode a night, maybe two. And it just felt so long. But since I binged like, 17, 18 episodes in the past week, I'm like, oh God, these filler episodes are actually like, they really cushion the plot. So I would say yes, do the original anime. You've got to watch it if you've never watched it, because it's definitely different from the manga.
Completely.
It fleshes out the characters a little bit more. Like, I won't spoil it, but you get a lot more time with the Guardians, which I think is really important. So I would suggest do the anime, but watch every episode. I strongly advise you to watch the filler.
I kind of like the filler episodes.
I kind of do too. However, on the flip side of this,
but I can see why people wouldn't necessarily like.
Yeah, same. On the flip side of this, if you're liking listening to the manga, us like talk about the manga, and you want like a visual version of the manga, Crystal is really fucking good. The animation's a little iffy. I will say that. So I would say if you really just want to stick to the manga story, go with Crystal. But if you don't mind some nonsensical 90s crazy off the wall storylines and you get a little bit more character development, I'd say go with the original.
Yeah.
And thank you again for sending the email.
We didn't answer the, are we going to do other manga?
Oh yeah, we didn't. We've actually talked about this too. We've talked about...
I haven't read any other manga
apart from Sailor Moon. Yeah, we've never read any more. So we had toyed go ahead, you say it.
Well, I was going to say, but because we've discovered and fallen in love with Sailor Moon, and off the back of that, we've both been researching, that makes it sound like really... Googling other manga that we might be interested in, haven't we? I mean, you've discovered an anime recently that you have absolutely fallen in love with.
I have. Have I forgotten what it is? Because it's not on my mind.
Is it Ruby?
Oh, Ruby! Yes. Yes. Is
that a manga as well as an anime?
So it's annoying because it has like an anthology manga, and then it stopped, and then it has like an official manga, which I also think has stopped. Or it's just really, really slow coming out. So I'm not really sure. I haven't bought them, but I want to.
But we spent an evening, didn't we, kind of like looking at different mangas that we could get into off the back.
We thought about Claymore.
Claymore we were looking at.
We were looking at Claymore because it looks really interesting. We are really only interested in women-led mangas. Like, no offense to everyone else, but like that's just what both of us kind of like.
Yeah.
So if you have suggestions, of course, leave them.
Yeah, that's that's what we'd like to know.
Yeah, email
What you
us
guys
or
suggest as
tweet
well.
us or whatever.
Because I'd love to get into another kind of universe of
Yeah,
characters.
same. And then we can
So
keep
yeah.
the title of the podcast Sailor Manga, and we just become the Sailor Manga who reads other manga.
Oh yeah.
See, and then we don't have to rebrand. It's perfect.
I like. But basically, to sum up, we're just open to suggestions and
Of course. Yeah.
discussion and yeah.
And I would love to do a retelling of Ruby, even if it has to be another podcast. I love Ruby so much. It's so good. I haven't seen any of Volume 8 yet because it's still in the middle of airing, but
Yeah.
it's so good.
And I have access to that one as well, so I need to
Yay!
get on that. I'll get on that once I've completed Sailor Moon anime. I can get
Yes,
onto
of
that.
course.
One
All
thing
right.
at a time.
Well, I think we spent quite a long time discussing
I
that,
know.
but I just want to say real
Sorry.
quick, thank you again, Thomas. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
reaching out.
Thank you,
We
Thomas.
really appreciate it. Yeah. All right. So back to Sailor Moon to bring it all back. The reason why
Yeah.
we're here. All right. Once again, we are reading Act 10 titled Moon, and we open up to the chapter page, and it's a 2-page spread in color. It's gorgeous. On the left side, we have, I was going to say Endymion, but it looks more like Tuxedo Mask to me.
Yeah.
And Princess Serenity. And then on the right side, we have the Earth, and the background is all the stars. It's super, super pretty.
Yeah.
And then we flip and we get started right where we left off to the moon. If you need a little recap, they were talking about going to the moon to get some answers because,
Oh, yeah, yeah, I was going to say it was some lunar bullshit, wasn't it, about her saying we're going to have to go to the moon. And we were like, oh, that's an option. Okay.
Oh, right. Yeah. All of a sudden, we can just go get answers. Got it.
Yeah.
And it starts immediately with Luna. And she says, well, now that that's decided, we better get ready. I already want to kick this cat. Already. Oh,
Luna. And look at her smug little face.
So smug with that little happy upturned smile.
I know. You're on thin ice, young lady.
And she says, we'll set out on the night of the next full moon.
Okay.
Which is fine. And it shows us that the moon is a crescent moon currently.
Yeah.
So we have a little bit while to wait.
Sorry, I'm just choking on my chocolate.
Yeah, don't choke on your chocolate, girl.
I just choked on a Red Bull.
All right, so then we cut to the Crown Game Center, and of course, all the girls are gathered. We're not in the moon layer, but they're just standing around the arcade machines, just having a gab, you know. And we get this awesome image of Ami and Usagi, and Ami says she's reading from a book, and she's like, a satellite of the Earth that makes a complete orbit approximately every 28 days. She's talking about the moon, of course.
Yeah.
And then she reads on, compared to the Earth, it has 1/80th the mass, 1/6 the surface gravity, and 1/4 the diameter. And she says, Luna made it sound like going to the moon is so easy, but how in the world does she plan to get us there? And above her head, there's like the Earth is this velocity, the moon is this. And I just imagine that meme of the lady with all the math going around her head and she's super confused. That's Ami right now.
That's me on a daily basis.
Oh, I love it. Oh, and then we get this cute little panel of Usagi with her Madonna mic and her headphones. Did I say Usagi? Luna.
You did, but I know you did.
Luna and Artemis are just like typing away on the computer, which is suspect because Naru and Umino are there.
Oh, yeah.
And they're just casually got headphones on, typing on one of the computers, you know, nonchalant, just kidding.
You'd kind of query that, wouldn't you?
Yeah. But Naru says, Usagi, come quick. And she hurries over and she starts laughing and carrying on and playing a game with Naru and Umino watching her. And Ami and Mako are looking, and Ami says, it's nice to see Usagi feeling better.
Yeah.
And Mako says, well, she couldn't stay down for long. I mean, come on, we're going to the moon.
Yeah,
and add this to the cute Mako drawings, that side profile.
I know. Just every drawing is a cute Mako drawing. But
yeah, I don't know what it is, but we're Mako stans. Just get used to it here.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Okay, so then we cut back to Usagi back at home, and she's looking up at the moon, and now it's a little over halfway full now. So some time has progressed.
Yeah.
And she's looking up at the moon and she's thinking to herself, the moon is getting fuller and fuller, and my excitement is growing right along with it. I can't wait to go to the moon and find out about my past life, about everything. I want to save him as soon as possible.
Aww.
And then she hears, Usagi, dinner! And she's like, coming! And
Daddy Moon,
Kenji comes by and he says, Usagi, here, I took that stone you gave me and made it into a pendant like you asked. And it's the silver crystal put on a cute little chain. Thanks, Kenji Papa.
Very resourceful. Very resourceful of him.
So now she doesn't have to worry about losing it. She can just carry it around now.
And I like the little bunny picture saying, yay!
Yay! I know, so cute. So then Kenji, I love this image of him with like the heart above his head. And he says, you're awfully attached to it. Did you get it from a boy you like? And she holds it up and she's like, yeah. And then it cuts to Kenji and he's like, what? No way! I love it so much. He didn't
like 1 minute. He didn't. He was like kind of half teasing. Did you get it from a boy? And yeah.
And she's like, yeah. And he's like, a boy.
And it's a shock below him. Like
he's like, not
daddy mode. Daddy mode activated.
Daddy mode activated. Yes, literally. But she's clutching the silver crystal, and she says something like that. But pause, because her dress.
Yeah.
You can't really tell all the details of it, but it looks very it looks like Salem witch trials to me, like the ruffles that are in it.
Oh, yeah.
And around the cuffs, and it's got a bow on the back. It's very Salem, Massachusetts chic. That's what it's giving me.
Yeah.
So outside, then we cut to outside the Tsukino household. Luna's dragging her cat ass back in the house after a day of being a bitch. And sorry, Paul.
Sorry, Paul. Yeah.
So she's like, sigh, I've been staring at monitors so long, my eyes are exhausted. Yeah, that's what happens when you're a fucking liar. Anyway, she says, I better make sure to get plenty of rest today. And then she hears music, thinks about music. There's a music note above her head. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but there's that. So she climbs on Ikuko's lap and she says, it's so soft and warm in Usagi's mom's lap. And she's purring and getting petted by Ikuko.
Oh.
And then we hear off panel, we hear Kenji say, hey, honey. And Ikuko's like, what is it, dear? He says, he looks so upset in this panel. I feel for him.
He does. His bottom lip is twitching.
I know, it's so cute. But he says, sometimes Usagi looks like an entirely different person. I feel like she grew up when I wasn't looking, and soon she'll be leaving our lives. Aw, Kenji.
I know.
So sentimental. But yeah, Ikuko's like, she would never do that. And she says, Usagi.
She's going to leave out at some point.
She's going to leave at some point. I mean, girl, she's about to go to the moon. So Ikuko says, Usagi will always be our sweet, spoiled little girl. And she's looking at Shingo and Usagi. And I love this panel because you don't get a whole lot of Shingo Usagi moments, but they're playing video games together.
Yeah.
And it's
adorable.
I
love that they acknowledge that she's spoiled as well.
Yeah. They're like, we know she's spoiled. We know we did this.
They're fine with it. I know.
Yeah. But then it cuts to Luna.
I had that with my parents as well. Like, you act so spoiled, and I'm like, well, you've only got yourself.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. But Luna's hearing all this, and she's like, she's a little upset. She looks really sad, actually.
Yeah.
But then we cut to the other girls, and we cut to Minako saying, Mako, get me some oolong tea. And
nice. Good choice.
I know, that sounds good. I'm drinking some coffee right now, some iced coffee, vanilla iced coffee. But
nice.
tea's a good choice.
I love an iced coffee.
Yeah, I'm gay. We have to drink iced coffee. It's in the agenda. But Mako says, okay. And Ray says, I'll have plum juice.
Plum juice.
Ray's all about keeping her body regular, so she needs the plum juice.
Yeah, interesting.
And then we get this cute panel of Mako, Ray, and Minako, and they're like out shopping for stuff, I think, to take back to Mako's place, because it says Ray and Mina are staying at Mako's place tonight.
Nice.
Yeah, super cute that the girls are all bonding now that Minako's here.
Yeah.
Leaving out Ami a little bit, and Usagi.
Oh, yeah.
Ami was like, thanks, but I'm studying, so like, go ahead. And Usagi's like, I'm heartbroken, so go ahead. But Mako looks at her watch and she looks up at the moon and she says, moon age 13.7. One more day until the full moon. I'm sorry. I didn't know Mako was an expert on the moon phases. Enough to speak it into existence. Oh, yes, the age is 13.7.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
But we cut to the Crown Game Center, and it's more time has passed. It's the next night, I would assume.
Yes.
And they're at the Crown Game Center, gathering as usual. And Luna looks back at the girls and she says, "Are you all ready?" And they just have they all have determined looks, except for Usagi, who just looks kind of confused. And she's like, "Okay, good. Then let's go to the park." And Usagi's like, "The park?" And they're going to this park, and Usagi's like, she says, This is where I promised to trade Mamo's watch whenever I ran into him in town."
Oh.
And I love this image of, we get a flashback to that scene, a little bubble of that scene where she's like, "Okay, it's a deal," kind of thing.
And she's,
yeah, she looks so cute. And then she's thinking to herself again, I would get defensive and we would get into a fight when we never actually had a real conversation. But the truth is, I was always so excited and happy to see him.
I knew it.
I know. Unrequited love. It's so cute.
Yeah.
She says, "That's why we ran into each other, isn't it? The two of us were drawn to each other.
Yeah.
I wish I could see him again in our uniforms." So she's talking about their past life outfits.
Yeah.
This time we'll really talk about everything, about me, about him, because I promised I would give this back to him. And of course, there's another image of the pocket watch.
Yeah.
And she's lost in her daydream, and Mako's like, "Usagi," and Usagi just immediately breaks down, and she's got her head in her hands, and she says, thinking to herself again, "I'm going to get you back. What are you doing now, Mamo?" So sad. And then she's crying, but Mako's a good bitch. She hands her a handkerchief to blow in, and there's a cute little honk above her.
Yeah.
So then there's Ami. She's part of the group again.
Okay.
She's looking up at the moon. Yeah, she's back. Says, "Moon age 15. It's directly above the park and there's not a cloud in the sky. Perfect conditions for a trip to the moon." And then Ray,
we're going to talk about this, aren't we? Just this little panel.
Because she's in her Shinto priestess outfit and she looks fucking stunning.
Mm-hmm.
And she's also got, the look on her face, just like, I'm that bitch, ain't I? Mm-hmm. And she's got Phobos and Deimos. One of them's on her head and one of them's on her arm, and they're just chilling, emotional support.
Amazing. I love that drawing. It's so small, but
it's awesome. And Ray says, "A waning moon is associated with hatred and discord." Shout out to the Discord. Not that there's hatred at the Discord. I just saw the word Discord. Like, hey.
Controversial.
Anyway, a new moon with death and destruction. When you want a vision of the future, the full moon is best. And Phobos and Deimos flap away.
They're out.
They're like, "Oh, she's getting sentimental. We out." And Ray says, "I can feel extra strength in its white light." And then we get Minako, and she turns back to the girls and says, "Let's transform. We'll use that power to teleport here." And now this next panel, we really got to talk about. Because Luna chants something, and like an enchanted puddle circle appears in front of her. When the fuck has Luna learned to do magic? Because there's no other explanation for this, because she clearly is speaking it. Like, just another thing that Luna has not fucking told us.
Because she has never, I mean, if you're reading along with us, then you can see the speech bubble is kind of filled with these
symbols,
different symbols, which we have never seen before.
No.
At least come out of Luna's mouth.
But I do have it pulled up so I can tell you exactly what each symbol means, because I am prepared.
Like a Boy Scout.
So I went on the Wikimoon page, and it says, when Luna was preparing the girls to teleport in the park, a group of planetary symbols was displayed. In order, we have the symbol for Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Mars, and then the asteroid Chiron, planet Uranus, planet Neptune, planet Pluto, the dwarf planet Ceres, planet Saturn, the asteroid Pallas, and lastly, the asteroid Juno.
Wow.
Yes. So there you go. But here's another quick little tip. You might be seeing these symbols in the future. There may be this is a little foreshadowing. However, one of them does not correspond to a guardian. I won't say which one, just to leave it on a little cliffhanger.
Keep the suspense. events for the people who don't know.
But these are all planetary/asteroid symbol. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, let me flip back.
Which Luna knew about and didn't tell. Anyway.
Didn't say, no big deal, just yet again. But yeah, so she's a magical cat, and she can perform fucking teleporting magic bullshit, which, let's just move on. I'm annoyed.
Yeah.
But Luna says, now step inside the circle and transform. Once you've changed, I want you all to join hands. That will create a shield.
Okay.
So then we get a whole page of them transforming, Moon Prism power, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, Venus power, make up. And then they're all transformed and they all join hands, and a beam of light arises to the sky from where they're standing.
That looks cool.
So cool. And then suddenly they said, beam me up, Scotty. And they're up in space.
They did. That was a real Star Trek moment, actually.
Yeah, very Star Trek. And they're in like a little glowing shield all together, but they're looking back at the Earth. They're already up in space, bitch.
Yeah.
And is this Mako? Yeah, I believe it's Mako. She says, amazing, that's the Earth. And Minako says, Mako, look, you can see flashes of lightning. Talking about in the clouds of the Earth.
Yeah.
And Mako says, it doesn't feel real. We were on that planet just seconds ago. And Ami says, look, it's the moon. There really are craters all over its surface. It's a lot like Mercury. So they're heading toward the moon already. And
she kind of transported them in between the two.
Yeah. Okay. So then they're Ami is communicating back with Luna, and she said, or no, Luna's with them, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Luna's with them. You don't see her in the little glowing thing, but whatever. So Ami says, where will we be touching down, Luna? And Luna says, Mare fuck, I learned how to say this specifically for this. Mare Serenitatis. There you go. Mare Serenitatis. It's Latin, so I looked up how to pronounce it. So everyone out there, you're welcome. Thank you. Don't correct me.
Educational podcast.
Educational podcast, So that stands for the Sea of Serenity, of course. So they touch down on the moon, and they're like, this is the moon. And we get this cute panel of Minako with her hair all spread out. I fucking love it. Oh, excuse me, Sailor Venus with her hair spread out. And she says, it's so dark and so quiet. There's no sound at all. What a strange feeling. And I love this panel. Usagi cuddles up to Mako, and she's like holding her arm, closing her eyes. So cute. And Mako, God damn it, I need to start referring to them as their sailor identity when they're transformed.
Yeah, we know though. We know.
Jupiter says, hey, Usagi, now you really are the rabbit on the moon. And this fucking panel, bitch, where Usagi has turned into a little small bunny with an ear flopped and a sweat drop. And she's just like, and Minako being like, oh God, Mako. But this makes me love Mako even more because it's like she's a jokester.
Yeah.
Because Usagi's name obviously means bunny of the moon, rabbit of the moon.
Bunny of the moon, yep.
So it's just, I love it. Just seeing that little bunny with the ear flop is so cute.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're surveying the moon. And Usagi's thinking to herself, the darkness is as black as velvet, deafening silence, faded, crumbling ruins. This is the moon. And I love that panel of Sailor Moon with the Earth in the background. So
yeah.
Wish it was in color so we could see it, but that's okay.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
And she says, where our kingdom, the Silver Millennium, once stood, and we see some columns, and they're in ruin. So they're the same columns from the last act where we had the flashback, but now it's like, there's really nothing to the ruins anymore. They're crumbled.
Yeah.
And very sad. Mercury says, there are so many broken columns here. Is this where the temple was? And Luna's
Mercury's
like, yes.
Cute.
Super cute. Yeah. And Luna says, yes, this was the moon castle. And here, and she's just trotting along because, she knows everything now.
Yeah.
And she's like, and here are the remains of the chamber of prayer. Only the queen was allowed into this room. And then she's strutting along again, and she says, and this is the center of the moon castle, the crystal tower. And Usagi's, or Sailor Moon, I should also mention Sailor Moon's moon symbol has appeared back on her forehead.
Yeah.
I kind of missed that detail, but that's okay. Y'all know now. And she's just surveying the ruins. And then among the ruins, we see a sword inside of a stone sitting on top of a pedestal. And Usagi's like, what the fuck is that? And Luna says, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, draw the sword. And so they're like, a sword in the stone? It's petrified. There's no way we can get it out. Which I'm assuming this is supposed to be a reference towards King Arthur, of course.
Yeah.
Which I love. I love the way that Naoko weaves mythology into the story. It's really great.
Yes. Good way of putting it.
Yeah. So Jupiter, arguably the strongest of all the girls, tries
Yeah.
to remove the sword, and she's like, and she can't get it.
Look at Venus like rolling her sleeves up as well. Like, I'm next.
Yeah, she's like, all right. And Luna says, use all your strength. If anyone can do it, you girls can.
Oh, calm down, Luna. She's shouting. That can.
Yeah, I know. Good lord. But Venus comes up to the sword and she yanks it and shink, it comes right out. And she's like, I got it. And then what happens? But an image appears on top of the stone, and it's a little tiny, looks like Usagi life form. It's a very tiny, I'd say like an action figure size. Is now a little apparition is now on top of the pedestal. And Marcella, take it away.
That is the sacred sword of legend. It is meant to defend the princess, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, and Venus. It belongs to the four of you. Thank you for bringing everyone here, Luna. The people of Earth, I am the incantation of Selene, whom they call goddess of the moon. I am the former queen of the silver millennium, Queen Serenity.
Queen Serenity! Woo! Sorry, I just had to hype it up a little bit. We thought it would be interesting to have Marcella play one of the roles, kind of like how I do Queen Metalia. And I just love listening to your voice. So I was just over here giddy, trying to be quiet. But I'll cut in right here because Usagi's like Queen Serenity, and she looks exactly like Usagi. She's got adongos, long hair. She's in an ornate little dress with a bow, and in the center of the bow is a crescent moon. Super cute fashion. And Usagi's thinking, in my past life, she was ... And then we get Queen Serenity again.
My dear Serenity, that must be you. I see you kneeling there.
Usagi's like, she was my mother. And Ami's like, this isn't a recording? And then
the image you see of me was created by combining computer technology with records from the past. Though my flesh has long since perished, my will lives on through the moon castle's eternity main system. I put Luna and Artemis into cold sleep. I awakened them. Been watching over all of you, waiting for this moment.
So good. You're doing a great job. I love it.
The kingdom is in ruins now, but do you remember? Do you remember the beautiful moon castle? Do you remember the greenery rustling in the wind under its sheltered dome? But it wasn't enough for you, Serenity. You longed to feel the real wind, surrounded by true nature. You would often go down to earth where you found love.
So good. I just love listening to you read it. I love it so much. I know you're hypercritical about yourself, but it's great.
I'm so embarrassed. Keep going.
They're going to love it. Everyone's going to love the sound of your voice. Okay, so then we get this little cut scene to the past life of the girls. And we see Mako being like, Your Highness. And she's fixing Princess Serenity's hair. And then we get this image of Venus, Mars, Mercury. Of course, Mercury has a stack of books in her hand, naturally. And Princess Serenity is just like, winking. But Venus says, You snuck down to Earth again, didn't you? And then Ami says, You are the heir of the silver millennium. Or maybe this is still Venus. But anyway, they say, You are the heir of the silver millennium. There are so many things you have to learn. And then Usagi's like, Oh shit, that's right. Whenever I could find a chance, I would sneak away to Earth so I could see him. And we get this image of Endymion, and he looks very, very handsome. Yeah. And then we cut back to Queen Serenity.
We are the long-lived life forms born of the moon. Our mission is to protect the moon's sacred heirloom, the mystical silver crystal, and to monitor and help the Earth by removing negative factors and guiding it in a positive direction towards a better evolution. The memory is still fresh in my mind. That year, our father-sun had entered a phase of unusual activity. The sun emitted a strange light. I had never before seen its like. That abnormal sun brought disaster to our world. A grotesque creature invaded the Earth and attempted to take the beautiful planet for itself. That creature truly is an enemy to humankind. No, an enemy to all creation. It is evil incarnate, and it was not content with the beautiful jewel of Earth. It sought domination over the moon's sacred stone, the mystical silver crystal, and its infinite and mysterious power. It used the darkness that lurks in the depths depths of human hearts to manipulate the people and bring war to the moon. At the time, Prince Endymion was young, but he was strong. He alone remained immune to the enemy's lies. He fought hard, defending as many as he could, but it was too late to protect you. He fell. Inescapable grief, you took your own life. Do you remember it? With great difficulty, I managed to seal the creature away, but the moon castle and everything in it turned to stone and crumbled away. The Earth Kingdom too fell to ruin, and the planet was left to start its evolutionary path again from the beginning. All of that happened in the ancient past, but the monster has revived again. I don't know where the creature is hidden, but I know that it still lurks somewhere deep in the earth. On that horrible day, after the shock of losing you, I was overcome by grief and confusion. It was in that weakened mental state that I activated the mystical silver crystal. The weakness prevented me from drawing out the crystal's full power, and the seal on the creature was incomplete. This time, you must destroy it permanently. You must use the true power of the mystical silver crystal. Princess Serenity, you are the only one who can rid the world of that creature.
Yay! We'll stop there for a second.
Okay.
You're doing so good. I'm just, it reminds me, I don't know why. Have you ever seen the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie?
No.
No, this is a compliment, I swear.
Oh.
There's a scene, for any of you out there who've watched the movie, you know what I'm talking about. There's a scene where they go to this other planet and they find this warrior named Dulcia, and she's got an accent too, and she's describing, you know, what happened and like the powers that they're gonna gain and like the backstory or whatever. And that's what it reminds me of. I'm just like, oh, I just love listening to this voice, telling me the tea. Like, it just sounds so good. So you're doing a great job. I love it. But before we go on, we just need to talk about some of these panels artwork.
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about them, have we?
So let's go to so the sun. We need to talk about the sun, the abnormal sun. So it looks like a solar flare came out of the sun and went towards the earth, and a creature was born out of that fire, I'm guessing. It may go into more detail later, but that's sort of what it's kind of getting at. And of course, this creature is Metalia. Spoiler alert, because we get an image of Metalia with her. She looks like she's in an actual human form, but she's got the same eyes and mouth that we've seen in the smoke, but she's more detailed, and the smoke kind of looks like a human form now.
Yeah, she's looking more womanly, isn't she?
Yeah, a little bit.
She has done in the past.
And then we had already seen the image of Endymion taking the hit of the sword from Beryl in the last chapter, but in this one we get an image of Serenity plunging the sword into her own chest.
Oh gosh!
Because that's what she was talking about in your escapable grief. You took your own life. So Serenity couldn't handle not being with Endymion, so she took the sword on herself. Tragic.
Just the tragic romance is right at my alley.
Yeah, it's so good. And then the last panel I want to really talk about is when Queen Serenity is saying, "This time you must destroy it permanently." We get the full span of her dress, and it's stunning. And then we also get, she has wings behind her.
Why wouldn't she?
Yeah, I mean, she's like a little angel. We love it.
Yeah.
Also, the wings is a little bit of foreshadowing, but we'll get there. But so then we get to Usagi. She's thinking the true power of the mystical silver crystal, and Minako says, "But your majesty, something is wrong with the silver crystal. Whatever was inside it has been absorbed into Prince Endymion. We haven't been able to get it to glow since." And we get a flashback scene to the little orb coming out of the silver crystal and going into Tuxedo Mask.
Yeah.
And then Queen Serenity is shook by this.
She is. He absorbed what was inside the crystal. Then you, Princess Serenity, you wanted to save him, and your will caused the crystal to act. So that's why I saw so much anxiety in your eyes, Serenity. You're worried about him. Don't fret. It's all right. He's alive. I'm sure of it.
Oh, so good. And then Usagi says, yeah, I'm sure. He's alive too. And she's like crying of happiness, basically.
She is.
And then
remember this, Princess Serenity. Everything the mystical silver crystal does depends on your heart. Strong convictions, an unshakable will, and deep love. You must have all of these, or you cannot hope to eliminate the evil. I want you to be proud that you are a princess, and that you are Sailor Moon, the guardian of love and justice. And never forget that you are also a normal girl, because that is where you will find true meaning of your rebirth. Don't ever.
Queen Serenity!
Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, and Venus, please work together to keep our princess safe and bring back our kingdom. Bring back the Moon Castle. I'm almost out of power. I can't speak to you much longer. Serenity, I pray for your happiness.
And then the image of Queen Serenity wavers into nothing. I just want to give a small little round of applause for Marcella. That was so good.
So embarrassing.
No, don't be. It was great. And they're going to love it as much as I did because I was over here just smiling the entire time. It was great.
Thank you.
I don't think there's any other art that we need to really talk about except for like how Serenity was wavering, really.
Yeah, it was all kind of just it was more like each panel was just word focused. Right? There was
it's a lot of word play for sure.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Marcella, for doing that. It was wonderful.
You're welcome.
Truly wonderful. So the girls are screaming Queen Serenity, and Sailor Moon's wait, she gone. She's like, wait, if you need power, this can, and she holds out the silver crystal, and she like waves her arms at the pedestal, but all that's left is a couple little orbs. She's gone.
Oh.
And the silver crystal clatters on top of the pedestal. And Sailor Moon's thinking to herself, just when I need the silver crystal most, it lets me down. The power of the mystical silver crystal depends on my heart. And then Luna says, it will be morning on Earth soon. Are you ready to go back? Cute picture of Luna, I will say. She looks really cute.
She does.
And they're looking back at the Earth, and I don't know who's saying this. I'm just going to go with Luna since she was the last one to talk.
Yeah.
She says, the Earth looks like a glass ornament like you'd hang on a Christmas tree.
Oh.
And then
random,
all the girls...
but okay.
Huh?
Random.
Yeah, very random. It's like you could have said like a bowl of water since it's blue that has algae on top of it. That's what I would have gone for, but anyway. So they all come back to Earth as the sunrise is happening. They're all back on Earth, and Usagi's, I guess she's home. We're just gonna say she's home.
Yeah,
but she's still transformed to Sailor Moon as she's looking at the sunrise, and she's thinking it was so quiet on the moon. Now there's sound all around me: shining sea, the wind bringing with it smells of nature. We weren't monitoring Earth. She said monitoring in quotes.
Yeah.
We were watching over it because we dreamed of it. We longed to be here. And before we cut to the Dark Kingdom, because we're about to cut to the Dark Kingdom, I just think that that's really sort of beautiful. Like Serenity in her past life longed to be on Earth, and in her next life, she gets reincarnated as someone who lives on Earth.
Yeah,
I just think it's beautiful. Like she finally did it. She finally was of the Earth.
That kind of gives me chills actually.
And not only that, but Endymion was reborn on the Earth too, so they can finally be together. It's kind of poetically beautiful and perfect.
I know.
So,
and I just love the fact that as well they kind of like they didn't hate each other, but they were both like annoyed by each other. I love that whole, we've done the whole Pride and Prejudice thing where I dislike you, I love you. We've done that, but I love it.
It's so good, yes. All right, so then we cut to, of course, the Dark Kingdom.
Yeah.
And Kunzite is back in the mausoleum, and he's looking at the shattered, broken out coffins.
Oh, yes.
Of course, where Jadeite, Nephrite, and Zoisite were, but, they revived, and then they were turned back to stones from the last chapter. Yeah. So he's thinking to himself, what does it all mean? I awaken here to find you all like this. Jadeite, Nephrite, and then he pauses and says, my Zoisite. He doesn't say my Zoisite, but I'm pretending. My Zoisite.
No. And he's holding them in his hand.
He's holding them in his hand, yes. And then he's traveling back through the Dark Kingdom castle, and he's like, I finally found him. I found our prince. So he's in the chamber where Tuxedo Mask Mamoru is being held.
AKA
and he's like,
Endymion.
Yeah, AKA Prince Endymion, of course. And he's like, Prince Endymion. And then he hears something. He's like, and it's Beryl, not far away. She's traveling through the castle as well. And he's like thinking to himself, Queen Beryl? And you get this image of her, how long her fucking hair is, bitch, from the back. And holy shit, it's the entire length of her body. She's got hair for days.
It's a train. Like, you know, you have a gown with a train.
It is a train.
It's a train. I love that she's kind of like lurking. Well, not lurking, but she's on a mission. She's going somewhere.
She is.
And she's traveling through. And it's very Maleficent on.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. Very Maleficent. Yes. Oh my god, yeah. So Kunzite's following her. He decides something's up. So he follows Beryl through her journey through the castle. And we come back to the door of, kind of like you said, kind of like someone riding a horse. It's kind of fuzzy. But to open the door, this is where we're gonna cut to one of my pages I brought up. Because Beryl throws out her hand at the door and she says a Hebrew phrase. Okay?
Oh, this is what you were talking about.
This is what I was talking about. She brings up the Hebrew phrase, which I have, which I don't think we'll be able to hear. I can hear it? No?
Oh.
Okay. Can you still hear me, Marcella? Okay, good.
Yeah.
I had to unplug my headphones so you could kind of hear it.
I heard it.
I don't know if it picked it up, but yeah,
that's
the Hebrew phrase.
I love it.
Okay, and we Googled it, and I have 3 references for this. Okay, so I put it into Google Translate, and I hope this isn't what it means, because it translates to his hole is another, which is questionable. I don't think that would open up the door to Queen Metalia, but okay. So then I have a Bing translate from Microsoft Bing's translator, and it just says, another hot hole.
That was even better.
And lastly, I have it
Grindr or something.
It's literally Grindr. Lastly, I have it translated. When I put it into Google, it's like, do you mean this? And so I clicked on that and I put this into a translator, what it thought I was trying to say.
Yeah.
This is on Reverso translation, and it translates to, it's hot and it's different.
It's definitely Grindr.
Yeah. Queen Metalia is really in drag. That's why she has my gravelly voice, and she's like, come to my Grindr. I need a hot hole. Delete me from the internet. I can't believe I said that.
Oh, I can't believe she wrote that.
I want someone who speaks or reads Hebrew. I need you to really buy this just so you can translate it, because there's got to be a reason. But I can't. I researched this heavily to find out what could it possibly mean, and all I'm getting is his hole is another hot hole, and it's hot and it's different. Oh God! Like, literally,
I tell you,
Queen Metalia is like, I'm gonna open up Grindr for garbage. That's what I'm gonna do. Garbage humans are gonna come in.
Yeah, if I'm ever single again, I'm putting that as my profile and writing that.
Which one?
All of them.
All of them. God,
I was gonna shit myself out.
Oh, damn it. Oh, God. Oh, man. So good. So good.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, collect ourselves.
All right, we're good. We're good. Everything's fine. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, like we said, Kunzite's watching, and he's like, what is she doing so deep underground? What is that door? So he's never seen this before. This is news to him. And so he's still following, and he's like, the door opens, Beryl walks in, and he's like, what is this oppressive and remarkably foul stench? It's suffocating. It's like, honey, that's another hot hole. That's Metalia's hot hole. She's ready.
Metalia's hot.
She's like, Grindr is open, sweeties. This is Grindr, Dark Kingdom Grindr. Like, we're here. So he gasps. And he sees, of course, Metalia has taken more of a shape now. So she's getting stronger from all the energy they're gathering and whatever.
Yeah.
And it looks similar to the flashback image we saw when Queen Serenity was telling us the tea.
She's coming together. She's coming together.
Yeah. And Kunzite's like, is that our supreme ruler? I didn't realize she was so close to gaining a physical form. What's that? A black mark on her forehead? And it's a solid black diamond on her forehead. And he swishes around to leave, and Beryl's kind of like, is someone there?
Yeah. Uh-oh.
But I guess she doesn't see him. And Beryl bows down, looking fierce as hell in this image.
Oh my god,
she
yes.
looks so good.
Yeah.
Like, you see her headdress, her hair's flowing, and she's like kneeling in her dress, and the folds in the dress with her kneeling looks so incredible.
I just love her so fucking much.
God, it's so good. So Beryl says, Queen Metalia, I can find no other explanation than that the portion of the mystical silver crystal that went into Tuxedo Mask is gone forever. Our scanners find no trace of it. And then Queen Metalia says, then make a corpse of him.
No.
The mystical silver crystal is in the princess's possession. And Beryl says, I believe we can still make good use of Tuxedo Mask's flesh. I doubt Kunzite will last much longer. Please let me have him. And Metalia says, Beryl, I need more energy, much more. Now that the princess is fully awakened, we must act quickly if this world is to be ours. There isn't a moment to spare. You must eliminate all obstacles in our path and take the mystical silver crystal. There we go.
My goodness.
And don't forget, I need another hot hole. Had to slip that in there, just like Metalia wants to slip it in there. Ooh. We're going to get reported.
I know we are. Thank you for joining our podcast.
Thank you.
No longer be allowed to.
All right, so then we cut to Beryl. She's back in the chamber with Endymion, and she's stroking his face like a creeper. Because he's only 17, so, watch it, girl.
Well, unconscious people.
Yeah, she's like the female Matoki, basically.
She's Matoki, yeah.
So she's gonna go to jail too.
Oh my god, is she Matoki in drag?
The plot thickens. We cracked it open. Mystery solved.
I'm sat here, my mouth is agape.
Just like Metalia hopes. Hey. Anyway, okay, enough with the another hot hole. Oh god.
Oh my god. Right, okay.
All right. So Kunzite comes up behind Beryl and says, Queen Beryl, you told me that once we obtained the mystical silver crystal, the 4 heavenly kings would be restored to life. And she says, I can't help it if they let their flesh wither away.
Yeah.
She's like, honey, it ain't my fault. But Kunzite's thinking back to when he and the other 4 heavenly kings watched Beryl stab Endymion back in the past life.
Yeah.
And he's thinking to himself, is it too late then? I wish I'd never chosen a life in the service of evil, but my regrets changed nothing. And he says, what are you going to do with Prince Endymion's body? And Beryl is pissed. She flashes her hand at Kunzite, and his gemstone is in his forehead, kind of like how the other generals turned into stones. Yeah. She makes it aware that you're a stone too, bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's shook. And she says, don't forget that you have sworn fealty to our supreme ruler, or that your flesh belongs to me. No matter how many times you are reborn, you will always serve me as my 4 heavenly kings. Now go, Kunzite. I will not tolerate another failure. You are to attack the humans and take their energy. The princess is sure to come to stop you. You will take the mystical silver crystal from her.
Jesus.
So Beryl's like, no more time to pussyfoot around, bitch. This is the time.
Beryl means fucking business.
She fucking does. And I stand. I'm loving Beryl.
I know, I kind of do as well.
So then we cut to Tokyo.
I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, for sure. So we cut to Tokyo, and Kunzite's following directions. He started immediately attacking.
Yeah.
Like a big beam of energy goes into the water, and some standbyers are like, what? The ocean? Is this a tsunami? And they're like, ah! screaming. And then the water splashes on them and freezes them instantly.
Yeah.
They're popsicles, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
So then we cut to like other areas of Tokyo are getting frozen. Someone's like, there's people frozen in there. Emergency alert is being broadcast. And Kunzite's thinking back to himself, I will turn all of Tokyo into a frozen wasteland, a desert of ice, teeming with human energy. Our supreme ruler will be overjoyed. And I just want to note that his gemstone is flashing again in his head, which makes me think that Beryl had something to do with it.
Yeah, exactly. He's not fully himself right now.
Exactly.
I noticed that too.
So good. Naoko's really good at dropping little small details here and there. It's
this
awesome.
this whole chapter. It's just, isn't it? It's amazing.
It's incredible, which is why this podcast is like forever long. But I don't care. It's
I know.
Just
I
so
feel like
good.
we're going on forever, but
it's got to be talked about.
But the material that we have is amazing.
And we said that the next couple chapters were going to be kind of heavy intensive. So just enjoy the extra long podcast if it's a little long.
Yeah.
All right, so then Kunzite says, now princess, show yourself. And we cut to the Crown Game Center, of course, where the girls always gather. And all of the girls, plus Luna and Artemis, Luna has her headphones on, of course, are they're at one of the computers, arcade machines. It's both, really. And they're looking at the activity. And Luna says there's been an increase in activity in the Earth's crust recently, which is a really weird way to phrase that, but that's okay.
Yeah, but we know what she means. Yeah,
we know what she means. She says, and here at the North Pole, it's faint, but I'm getting an abnormal heat reading, and it's coming from deep underground. The numbers have skyrocketed over the last few months. Could it have something to do with Dark Kingdom? And look at this image of Luna with her headphones on and her paw up to her mouth, like she's like, ooh. As much as we rag on Luna, we love Luna.
We do. Never. We do. Doubt that we don't love her.
Exactly, but yeah. And Usagi looks cute right there too. So the machine starts beeping, and Ami's like, Luna, girls, the enemy's back. Look, the whole city is covered in ice. And we see images of Kunzite's wrath, aka Beryl's wrath.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? And Luna says, let's go, everyone. Hurry, transform. And then we get Moon Prism Power, make up, and we see Usagi transforming. Pretty standard. And then it cuts to Kunzite, who's laying in wait for the girls, and he says, what took you so long, Sailor Moon? Or should I say, Your Highness? And Sailor Moon is like seeing Kunzite again, and she's like, and she remembers that's the one who took Endymion from her. So she's shook.
Yeah.
And she says, are you trying to turn Tokyo into the North Pole? And he's like, but of course, I want to make it ready for our supreme ruler's return. And she says, well, I won't let you. And she breaks out the moon wand. And she says, moon healing escalation, and waves it out in front of her. And the people who were frozen in the ice, it melts and they start to break out of it. And then the silver crystal, of course, it's around her neck now. It starts to glow. And Kunzite's like, the silver crystal. And he says, aha, the mystical silver crystal. And he I guess he leaps at Sailor Moon.
Yeah, he's lunging, isn't he, to get his paws around it.
Yeah, but Usagi leaps into the air, and then both of them start rising up in the air. And Venus is like, Sailor Moon! But Sailor Moon's like, I have to keep going. She's like, if I keep going up, they're taking the battle to space.
Yeah.
So then they go up, and they're floating up above the Earth just a little bit. The moon's in the background. And she says, where did you take Tuxedo Mask? Give him back. You better not have hurt him. And Kunzite says, if you're a good girl and hand over the crystal, I might be willing to give him to you. His corpse, that is.
Oh, no.
I know. And she is triggered by that.
Yeah, I'd be triggered.
And the girls are floating after Sailor Moon, and they're like, Sailor Moon! But they're not there yet. And Kunzite says, will your attacks have any effect here in the vacuum of space? Now watch while I destroy your precious princess.
Oh, no.
So the girls are there, and Venus is like, sorry, this isn't our first time in space. Pop off, Venus. You better do it. And so Venus says, okay, girls, we'll put all our power together. And they say Venus, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter power. And we get cuts to all of them raising their arms and
looking
doing their
amazing.
Cute little poses. Yeah, looking fresh to death.
Particularly Ray, Mars is.
I agree. Like, her pose looks really cool. It's not like the other girls, they all have their arms out straight in the air, but hers are like out in front of her. Kind of like there's a ball of energy in between her. Looks really cool. And Venus says, now, Sailor Moon, use the moon wand to make a shield. And she's like, no, because they're about to attack Kunzite. And she's like, he hasn't told me about Tuxedo Mask yet. Don't kill him. She's like, I need to interrogate his ass. But the girls are like, we got to do this shit. And they say, Sailor Planet Attack. The first time we get Sailor Planet Attack. Iconic. And it blasts Kunzite. His jewel flashes. Oh, I keep hitting my mic. Sorry if you can hear that. And we need another word. It obliterates him. There we go. It obliterates him, and he turns back into the gemstone.
Oh, yeah. Look at his eyes.
Yeah, his eyes look fucking creepy. He looks kind of like a slug when he's being mid obliteration. But his gemstone flashes, and then it disappears. But more on that in a second. So then Venus says, Sailor Moon, are you all right? And she starts to cry, because of fucking course not. She's thinking to herself, right? She's thinking to herself, Tuxedo Mask. I didn't learn anything. Oh, yeah. Tuxedo Mask. There we go. We got to get one per podcast.
Yeah, I've got to have one in. Yeah. Thank you.
She's like, oh, you're welcome, of course. She says, I didn't learn anything. Where is he? Is he okay? And to the side, before we cut to the Dark Kingdom, cute picture of Princess Serenity. Like that's, and she's got a side profile. That drawing is super cute. I love it. It's very, there's no harsh lines because Naoko is really wispy with her drawings. This one's like really hard and precise.
Good spot.
It's just a little bit different the way she drew it. It's very cool. So then we cut to the Dark Kingdom, and Kunzite's gem flashes, and it falls and patters to the floor right at Beryl's feet.
Yeah.
So Beryl's like, Kunzite, more's the pity. Now all 4 of my dear little heavenly kings have been reduced to stones. And she raises her arms and she says, O supreme ruler, Queen Metalia, grant me your strength. I need your power. The power of awakening. And then Mamoru wakes up. And he sits up and he looks back at Beryl and he sees Kunzite's gem. So he stands up, he sees Kunzite's gem, he picks it up. And I think all the other 4 gems appear in his hand. Because that's what it looks like to me.
Definitely.
And he's looking at him and he's like, he's really confused. But Beryl comes up to him and says, Prince Endymion, you belong to me now. You will obey my every command. You will go to the surface. You will find the princess of the Moon Kingdom, the Silver Millennium, and you will kill her, and you will bring the mystical silver crystal to me. And we get this image of Mamoru in his tuxedo, and his eyes are like checkerboard pattern are his irises.
Yeah, I mean it's not like what they usually use with the kind of scratched out eyes, so we can tell that they've been possessed.
Right,
but we can still tell. We can easily tell that he's been possessed.
Yeah, he's definitely been possessed. And then we cut back to Juban, and we cut to Crown Game Center. And we see some footsteps, and then we see this awesome fucking image of Mamoru. And he's got, I guess, the tuxedo jacket slung over his shoulder, but his t-shirt is the same black and white checkerboard pattern that his eyes once were. And it's the first time that I want to talk about Mamoru's fashion choice because it's fucking killer. The fact that she chose to do it the same pattern as his possessed eyes is so fucking cool. Because in that panel where he's got the shirt with the checkerboard pattern, his eyes are back to normal to like fool everyone. And then it's kind of like the shirt is to tell us that like, no, he's still fucking possessed.
He's still like, evil Mamoru.
And that's where we end the act. Oh my god, what a chunky bit of plot and everything that we got. It's so fucking good.
I think this is my favorite so far.
Really?
Yeah, I really think it is.
I mean, it is really.
Maybe I'm just kind of caught up in the whole. No, I feel like it is.
I don't know. I think I'd have to agree with you. Like
everything.
It had everything. It had cute little moments with the girls. It had the girls kicking fucking ass. It had backstory.
Parents, Daddy Moon, and everybody seemed to be in it.
Everybody was in it, except for Matoki. He went back to jail.
Oh, yeah, we don't care about him.
We don't care about him. Yeah.
He's back in season.
Well, actually, he was in it because he's Queen Beryl in drag.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
For Metalia's Grindr profile.
Yeah.
But yeah, so as always, Marcella, what was your favorite part of that
Oh,
very, very compressed amount of story? It's hard to
where do
pick.
I even begin? Because I honestly feel like this has been two. Do we refer to them as chapters or acts?
Acts,
Acts.
either way, I pretty much use
This
them interchangeably.
Yeah,
So
this has felt like a two in one,
yeah, it really
hasn't it?
has. So much
I
happened.
mean,
Yeah.
I just don't know if it's because we've just spent longer on our intro, so this has felt long. This just I swear this is longer. I need to go back and do like a page count or
Oh, I
something.
counted. It's about 50 pages.
But yeah, this is long. This is amazing.
It's funny because it's just about as long as the last chapter, but yeah, it did feel longer. I think it's because of our intro. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's just also this is I didn't manage to do a reread, so this is only my second time through it. But
Yeah.
I think I loved it more this time just because I got to share it with you.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So it's just yeah. So so that doesn't answer your question, does it? Favorite bits? I mean, how do you even begin?
If you don't have yours
Um
yet, I've got mine.
oh, do yours then because
Okay,
I'm
if you want to think
still
about yours.
digesting. I'm still
Um,
digesting.
I've sort of narrowed mine down to two,
I bet
just
they're going to be
because
the same.
there was so much. So
Yeah.
number one, the Queen Serenity appearance,
Yeah.
and the backstory, her explaining, what more into what happened on the to Silver Millennium and why it
Yeah.
happened, and just giving us a little bit more information, and the truth bomb that Serenity took her own life in her grief from Endymion.
Mm.
Like that's a big point.
Yeah.
And then
Huge.
my second one is is Metalia's, truly inspiring journey to another hot hole.
Yeah.
It's beautiful to see.
Yeah.
I can't even say it with a straight face. Oh, so I'll say it with a gay face. But yeah, it's just so good. And but also like Beryl sneaking around and also getting Kunzite, who he's like, I don't want to be evil anymore, and he's finally come to that decision. Like, I want
Yes.
to help Prince Endymion, but I'm too far in. Like, I can't do
Yeah.
anything. And
That
before he can do anything, Beryl is like, bitch, it's time to fucking work.
yeah. Yeah.
So those are definitely my favorite parts. But all of it all of it was fucking good. Like Kenji, Mako, it's
Mm.
fucking great.
Yeah, I know. And thinking about that, I think absolutely just loved every part with Queen Beryl in because
Yes, this is a barrel heavy chapter.
it was a Beryl Harry chapter, and Beryl's my ultimate favorite. I think overall, if I think about it,
Yeah,
but I
so
just
good.
loved all those bits, and yeah, and exactly with what you said, with her kind of sort of like, okay, enough is enough. I am done. We are doing this.
Hmm.
But I loved all the little kind of like side revelations of, oh, but Prince Endymion, I don't want to do this, and
Hmm.
just amazing. And then
Incredible.
obviously the Queen Serenity kind of backstory, and that kind of it kind of I got really strong. I hate saying this word. Yeah, I always say it vibe, but I always say it, so
Ooh,
I'm just
I
gonna. Do you
love
know?
the
What?
vibe.
I'm gonna stop hating that word.
No, I
Um,
think we're all about the vibes. I'm
yeah,
here for it.
I got really strong vibes when Queen Serenity kind of pops up and does her backstory, and she's almost, she's like a little kind of
Yeah.
almost. It reminds me of A New Hope, Star Wars, which I know you've seen with Princess Leia when
Yes.
she pops up,
Yeah. Oh
and she's that little
my
yeah. So
god.
she's that little figure, and she's sort of saying,
You
"Help
just
me,
blew my
everyone, kind of
mind.
me.
Holy
You're my
shit.
only hope." But it gives me that kind
Oh my
of.
god, you're totally right. Oh my
Do you
god.
know what I mean? That's what I
Yes.
get from it.
Holy shit.
And just
And
the
also, Serenity
overall
has the voice of an angel. Oh my god, that voice. Oh, she's great.
who knew? Um, but yeah, just everything was amazing, and I kind of felt like
Ugh,
the other Sailor Guardians. I don't want to say they took a back seat because they can never take a back seat because we
no.
love them. They're women, they're powerful, they are team players.
Hmm.
But it was a real kind of Queen Serenity, Mamoru, Usagi, Princess Serenity driven
Yes. Hmm.
scrambling. I mean,
Agreed.
we were
Yeah.
given so much information so fast.
So much. Yeah. I agree.
I'm even now. I'm kind of like, oh, God, keep up. This is so mad. It was
It
amazing. The
is a
whole
lot.
thing. The whole thing is amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah, just 10 out of
So
10.
good.
10 out of 10.
11 out of 10, honestly. It's
Oh God,
that good.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
that
11 out
good.
of 10. Yeah,
Also just want to make a quick
and
little
then
reference to
the grinder stuff.
the grinder part.
Oh,
I just wanted to say that Venus pulling out the sword. Remember earlier
Oh yeah, I'd
in the
forgotten about
podcast
that.
when the Sailor V game, she has a sword, and I was like, oh, this is foreshadowing. That's what I was talking
Oh
about. Because this is, even though Serenity said,
yes.
thank you for the clapping, thank you. Even though Serenity said, oh, this is for you, Venus is the only one who wields the sword. And we're gonna see that in the
Yes.
future.
Yeah.
So because she's the leader, so she kind of takes on the leadership role, which you don't see in the anime at all.
No.
Crystal does a good job of it, but you don't see it in the original anime. So they kind of, that's why I feel like some people's least favorite guardian is Venus, just because if you grew up with the anime, she doesn't really have any of the important roles that in the manga she does. So it
Yeah.
kind of takes away from
True.
her. But I loved it.
So maybe we should say to
So good.
Thomas, watch Crystal first for the story, and then
Yeah.
watch the anime, the original anime for the fluff.
Yeah, you know what, Thomas? That's probably the better choice. Like I said,
Yeah.
if you want the manga brought to life, you need to
Do
go for
Crystal.
Crystal.
Yeah, do
It's
Crystal.
really good.
Yeah, do Crystal and then do the anime just for fluff and just for just a bit of popcorn
Shits and
watching.
giggles. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of Sailor Manga. You can
Thank
find
you.
me on the internet at JustinGray22 across Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. That's where you can find me. As the time we're airing this, it might have wrapped up my Sims 4 Big Brother series that Usagi and Ray are in the house. But
Yeah,
check it out because it's a good time. We have a lot of fun on there. So
it's
that's where
fun.
you can find me. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And you can reach us both on Twitter at Sailor Manga Pod.
And sorry, just like Thomas did, you can reach out to our email account and send us an email at sailormangapodcast@gmail.com. We would love to hear from more of you. And once
Yes.
again, thank you, Thomas, for reaching out. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Thomas.
And yeah, I guess that's all we got. Next time, we will be reading Act 11, which is called Reunion Endymion. So, wonder how that's gonna go.
OMG.
I know. How can it get even more crazy, you know? But thanks again for listening, and in the name of the moon,
We'll be back soon.
bye guys.
Bye.
Bill and George just walked in. Hey boys, how's it going? Oh, there's my iced coffee. Thank you, Bill.
I was going to say, are they late?
Bill, what's wrong? What's that look on your face? What's wrong? Quit. You quit. Well, bye. There's the door. Okay, he's gone. He quit.
Oh, Lord.
George, are you staying?
Bill.
George, are you staying? George is staying. Okay, thank you, George. Let me just call up Howard. Oh, George, how about you text Howard to tell him that you're doing his current job, but he can come back as intern if he wants. Does that sound good? Okay, let me know what he says. Thanks, George. Roll the tape. We're about to record. Yeah. Nope, to the left. It's still to the left. There you go, George. Thank you, sweetie. God damn it.
I can't believe. Well, at least Bill bought you iced coffee before he quit. So
I know, that was sweet of him. I guess he's got to go back
Yeah.
to chain smoking cigarettes in Dead by Daylight.
And not leading the killer to people.
Oh, why am I like this?